What's up? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Josh. We'll be a little low key tonight. We got Trev time in the house. What's up, Trevor?
What's up, Josh? Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, man. How are you?
I am doing well. Hope you are too.
I'm doing fine, thank you. It's been an interesting 48 hours.
It sure has.
I'll say that. And yes, we're aware of some emergency personnel at Sebastian School at the moment, but we have nothing to indicate that has anything to do with his case. And if it does, we'll update you as soon as we hear. What do you hear, Trevor?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I did see that the highway patrol's there, so I'm curious if there was an accident or something.
Yeah, typically when highway patrol is the one that responds, it's usually accident of some kind. Was there a fire truck?
Yeah, at least one.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Sorry, guys. You're not going to get clickbait over here. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that here. You know, we're not going to break nothing for you. Well, who knows? We could. Something could happen. You never know. The USSR could reform.
Yep.
We could be on the air when that happened. They could rise the Titanic. We could be live when that happened. There's all kinds of things. So you never know. But let me see here. Seth was just in another chat, so probably not related. Probably not. Probably not. Hello, Olivia. How are you this evening? Kelly K. Miss Curvy. Where's Gran Canaria? Canaria? Do you know where that is?
I do not.
Yeah. Mic check, Josh. Is my mic working? Does it sound good?
Sounds right to me, but they're saying it's a little muffled.
What? That'll never do. What about now? Is that better?
Yeah.
Like how much better?
You'll have to ask them. I didn't think there was an issue.
Sounds muffled. Josh, you don't do muffled mics. Josh, you don't do muffled mics. You know what I mean? If there's one thing that I don't do, it's muffled microphones. I had to mute the other ones. I got this bad boy right here too. The old testy. Old testy.
That's an interesting name for it.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
I'm not sure I want to know.
I was somewhere in between tried, trued, and tested, and I ended up with old testy.
Yeah.
I blame you. I blame you for that. I was going to say this is old faithful, tried, true, and tested, and I ended up with Old Testy.
You forgot like 4 other words.
I went straight to the end of the line.
You sure did.
Shout out Fossil Nuts.
Hey, shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Dude, did you see the article in the Sun?
I did.
Dude, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that was a doozy.
And then we're going to talk the Sebastian Rogers case. My mic is not off. Is it off? No. Turn mic on. Huh. Is it still muffled? I'm really confused.
I am as well. You're being
The mic
bamboozled.
isn't plugged in. Sounds off. Could hear you clicking your mouse. Oh no. No, don't do this to me. Don't you dare.
I like all the different definitions of what you sound like. Some people say in a tunnel, some say in a barrel.
What about now? How's that? Now that I'm on Old Testy? I switched to Old Testy. What? Same thing? What the hell's going on here?
What in the world?
There's no reason for me to be here.
See, it sounds okay in Australia. See, little Miss Sharon gets it. Sounds fine there. See, now you got people offering you new testes now. See what you've done?
I'm good. I'm going to figure this out right now because that's what I do. Oh, there. I already did it. I already figured it out. I'm stupid.
Yeah, now you have that perfect full sound. Welcome.
There you are. The lab.
Welcome to lab.
There it is.
And we're back.
Oh yeah, we're back, baby.
There it is.
Oh, God.
Views just tripled automatically.
Dude, I was shaking. I was starting to shake. I was like, this is a nightmare. My intros are terrible. They're the worst. They're the worst of all time. You know what I mean? Anyway, where should we start? Should we start with old Fossil Nuz, or should we just jump right into the Sebastian Rogers case?
This is your ship. I'm just a passenger.
Well, that's a fact. Let's read about that a little bit. This is 4 days ago. No one gave a crap. Yeah, well, you know what? Trevor, he is always a gentleman. He's a good guy. Good guy. Real good guy. Good guy. Single mom. WTF true crime. What's up? Gifted one lab after. And thank you for that. Gwen. Our Gwen.
Holding it down
As always. All right. We'll talk about Sebastian. Let's talk about what's going on at Sebastian's school. Nothing that we know of. Somebody said nice interview today. What's that? You had an interview today?
Yeah. Seth and I were interviewed by the local news.
What? And I'm hearing about this now from the chat. Is that where we're at, Trevor?
All right. That is not.
I have always reared you.
What?
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like,
is it?
Yeah, it really is. It just sounds weird.
Gotcha.
That's cool, man. I love it. It's not about me. Get over myself. Yeah, Trevor is a legend. Love him.
Oh, I'm just here. I'm just here.
Yeah. No,
I did hear some sirens though outside my hotel. So
right now, just now.
A few minutes ago.
So so you're in Nashville, yeah?
Yeah, I am. I'm right here
On
in the area.
location,
On site.
on site. What'd you do today?
Well,
Besides get interviewed by the news.
went down to the search setup area and spoke to the people that are organizing the search. I had the pleasure of meeting Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers.
Yeah.
And he and I spent some time talking today.
Love it. Love it. How'd that go? Was it fruitful? You know, I mean, I'm sure it was, and I'm sure he appreciates you talking to him about what's going on.
For sure. I mean, he wanted to, talk about Sebastian, talk about how he wants as many people possible out there helping to look for his son, and I'm right there with him.
99 Pink Balloons does have a key to the city in Nashville. We'll have to borrow that from you sometime. 99 Pink Balloons. Seth is mad. When is he mad? Right now he's mad? I don't know if he's mad. Is he mad?
No, they're talking about on the news interview. He was fired up. He's trying to get people to join the search.
Ah, yes. Yes. I would know about that if you had told me.
All right.
I am messing with you, dude.
I forgot for a minute I even got interviewed. She just asked since I was out there if I wanted to.
You got a lot of press that you're doing. So tell me, so trying to get people to come out. So there was obviously been some sort of issue, right? That happened.
Yeah, there's just a lot of drama surrounding the searches. I know there's quite a bit, and I'm not even going to attempt to get in the middle of it. I know there's some issues with the United Cajun Navy, along with people who are coming out and some creators who have been coming in. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We all need to put Sebastian first is my take on it. I sat and talked with Seth for a while today, and he just wants his son found.
Yeah.
And so does their family. They want him found, and he's the one that's missing. And so I think, it's best if we could put whatever issues aside and really put all of our efforts towards Sebastian, because he's the one who's been missing for a month now.
Right. I mean, well said. Always a lot. I mean, how the drama starts or how the drama happens, I don't know. It's somehow it's organic. But I don't really know. Look, here's the point. Look, all right. Like anybody can search for a child. Nobody can stop you. You can't go on private property. That's just first and foremost. Okay. Now, I get it that there are most people do not like to be told what to do or how to do what they feel that they're doing. You get what I'm saying. But what I don't get is I think that respecting the wishes of the parents or the parent or whoever it is that's involved with this, however you feel that we should respect that, right? Don't you think?
I do. I think,
that's just what I think, man. Go ahead.
No, yes. I mean, this is Seth's son. This is not your son, not my son. It's not anybody. It's not the Cajun Navy's son. This is not YouTube's son. This is Seth Rogers' son. And if he wants people to rally around and look for his son, then I think we should do that. It's sometimes in life you have to do things and be around people that maybe you're not the biggest fan of. So if there's a creator there that you're not the biggest fan of, it's okay. If there's a group there that's searching that is not your absolute favorite, number one on your list if you had a top 10, it's all right. Because what matters is this child that's been on the face of an Amber Alert for a month now.
Right.
I think that's how we need to look at it. I get their issues, and I'm not telling people to feel one way or the other. I'm not telling anybody how to feel. But I think we should put this child first because he's missing. And
Right. And Seth was the one that reached out to the Cajun Navy. However you feel about it, however you want to feel about it, Seal says it's still bringing attention. Well, but what we don't want and what ends up happening inevitably most times is that when a case garners a lot of attention, such as this one, that it's people do get involved and they want to help and they want to search or and I don't know if we're being overbearing or whatever. I just think that however they organize the search, the family, then to respect it. That's it. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I don't think that that's a big deal. I don't think that that's asking a lot. Trevor, you're really the one that, one of the first ones to kind of start talking about this case and sharing this case, which caught my eye and it caught some other people's eye. And I've slowly watched it snowball over the last 3 weeks that you and I have been covering it. Just what email? What's the email? Hold on, I'll look. Okay, I'll check that out in a minute here. They have multiple pressers. I don't know what's going on with the pressers. I couldn't tell you. Do you know anything about that, Trevor? You know anything about press conferences?
They haven't had any since this was shifted to an investigation. I know for a fact work is actively being done behind the scenes. I can speak for 100% to say that by local and state, and even to an extent federal agencies, work is actively being done on this case. We just can't see it because it's largely an investigation now. We heard that when this case shifted from a search. There is still searching going on as well, targeted searches, but the midst of the investigation we don't see, but I can assure you it's happening.
Yeah, right. And so anyway, it's people descend upon the town to draw awareness, and that it seemed like two entities, social media and the Cajun Navy. I think that these two heads collided, and on both sides, I think people got upset.
Yeah.
I think people get upset. However, at the middle of this is a missing child, so everybody can get unupset. We can stomp our feet and we can get pissed off all they want. And it doesn't change anything. It's just that, yeah, I get it. They're not the real Cajun Navy. I get it. I get it. I understand. But Seth and his mother both had conversations with these people, correct?
Correct.
And they felt comfortable enough to ask them to help and that they were going to kind of be in charge and organizing the search. And there was disconnect. There were people that didn't want to be recorded. There were people that this or that or whatever it is. Okay, fine. But why do you know why the search was called off today?
The search actually took place today. There was a search today. It ended early due to a low amount of volunteers. They searched the areas that they could and then called it off around 3 p.m. But no, they did search today.
Lisa says you need to be saying that to the Cajun Navy. Everyone was cool until they started on the volunteers. Well, I'm not directing it at anybody. Anybody can listen. Cajun Navy, that goes for you too. Everybody needs to stop fighting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you want me to say? I wasn't singling anybody out. I'm just saying, I get it.
Yeah. And everybody has a right to feel the way they do. Neither of us are saying you shouldn't be upset or have your feelings. It's just Sebastian's well-being, and finding Sebastian should be above those feelings. It doesn't discount how you feel.
No.
It means that we're here for the greater good. We're here for the purpose of finding Sebastian.
Right.
And the other issues can be hashed out secondarily. And
Right.
they should be. Those issues matter too, but Sebastian matters the most in this situation.
That's it, man. That's it. It's a tough, emotions are high. People have came from a long way. There was already issues in Nashville for the last, I don't know, with the Riley strain situation, however long that was going on, quite some time. And, people get upset. Okay, let's see. Not Crazy by Crazy Lady. The Lab. Honest, no drama meant question. Is it common for search groups to ask volunteers for their IDs? I don't know if that is standard operating procedure. However, it does make some sense to me why you would want to be able to identify the people. You don't want random anonymous people searching. What if somebody messes up a crime scene? Or what if the person, what if the killer's involved? So I don't think it's a big deal personally. Showing your ID wouldn't be that big of a deal.
If you sign up to be a volunteer with Texas Equisearch, Tim Miller's organization,
you're there. They want an ID.
You give your ID, your address, your phone number. You give all your information. I did some volunteer work with Samaritan's Purse when I was younger, after some tornadoes here in Tennessee, and I've got a card that they gave me after I became an official volunteer for them, so I can use it later. But I had to sign up and do all the paperwork to begin with, so I was in their system.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, people are going to feel how they want to feel, and people are going to, I don't care. I mean, I'm not really that interested in it. I was just touching on it a little bit, and, I'm sorry it all went to shit, and I'm sorry that there are people fighting and bickering about it, and I hope that it just kind of. So, how many people showed up to the search today?
Volunteer wise, only 3.
Okay, and that was because of some of the infighting, but hopefully we can just move past that. And tomorrow's another day, and I'm not hating on the Navy. I'm not hating on streamers. I appreciate a lot of that footage that they have. It is kind of nice to see the city, and when I don't mind that at all. But it sounds like somebody did.
And I see people tell me the Cajun Navy needs to apologize. You guys can speak with them. I'm not telling anybody how to behave. I'm not saying it's anybody.
Who said that? Where's that? Who needs to apologize to who? The Cajun Navy needs to publicly apologize to people they tried to run off and call the law. Well, what good's that going to do? What's up, Seth? It's good to see you, bro. We got Seth in the house. So everybody on their best behavior. Huh?
Oh, I just said good to see you, Seth.
No more fighting. Hi, Seth. Anyway, so a search did take place.
It did.
God bless the volunteers that showed up. And who led the search today?
There were some members from the United Cajun Navy, but also some of the organizers are outside. They're local, and they joined in to help organize.
Yeah, right.
It's a team effort. It really is.
Team effort. Yeah. And when's the next one?
Tomorrow.
Are you going out?
I should be. Yep.
Trevor, going to search. You gonna give him your ID?
I did this morning. I'll do it again.
Why does this say McLovin? I could see that. So Nashville. So are you not allowed to talk about where they took place?
They took place in a couple different spots, but we'll just leave that off for.
Well, how would people know where to show up?
Oh, where to show up to
search?
meet.
They
Sorry,
meet somewhere
I thought you
and
meant
then
where the
go
searches
off.
took place. No, 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville. It's behind the bowling place. It's on the other side of it. But I thought you meant search locations. No, the area to meet up is 90 Volunteer Drive, Hendersonville.
Right. Okay. That's cool. So you show up somewhere and then you kind of you like get scooted off somewhere, sort of like working for Area 51.
Yeah, so you'll show up and check in and see how many aliens you've brought, and then they give you the Krabby Patty formula, and then they send you off to which area you're going to search.
Yeah. If Seth wants to come up, he's welcome to. I can send him a link and we can just talk about the searching and stuff, or whatever it is that you want to talk about. And hopefully we can get some people. They're still looking for volunteers.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us where.
Tomorrow morning at 90 Volunteer Drive, Hendersonville. Tennessee.
Let's see here. Okay, yeah, just let us know when you're home, dude. It's all good. No worries at all. How'd that one? Dancing Queen. Why is Seth allowing them to run people off? What? How dare anybody do anything? Like, I don't know, man. Like, what is?
You're compromising here with Trevor?
Is it not his? It's his child. Like, let them do what they're. Everybody thinks that everything's done perfectly in a vacuum. You know, it's just not. Things happen. Exactly. Don't upset the guy. You know, that's a timeout. That's a timeout. It's just a time. I've never put somebody in timeout like that. Never. Timeout. I don't even know if we can time out. I'm just kidding, but that's a timeout. Jesus. Well, I'm really glad we came live tonight. We'll wait for Seth here, but so what else you got going on down there? Huh?
I listened to Trevor's podcast today. Don't compromise, Josh. I was just reading the chat.
You had a podcast today?
I assume he's talking about one of my shows, but I guess you've compromised.
Compromised what?
It's a great question. I'm quite unsure what they're talking about.
Stop the negativity. Let's support Seth and Sebastian. It's the corner. Weird. I really don't like the feeling of this convo. It's a great convo. I'm having a great time. Anything more about the situation going on over at are they updating anything about that situation at that school?
I heard a rumor that there was a pedestrian involvement, a pedestrian and vehicle incident.
Yeah. And what time is everybody meeting tomorrow?
This morning they met at 10:30, so I assume it'll be the same.
Okay. You say, okay. So there you go. For people that wanting to go and help. And it sounds like that they are looking for volunteers, and however you feel about anybody, just help if you can. 10:30 a.m. where? I thought we covered that, but go ahead.
90 Volunteer Drive, Hendersonville, Tennessee.
10:30. I did not hear the dispatch call. Did you hear the dispatch call?
Yeah.
How was it? Just a standard?
Yeah. Of course, it was through the sheriff's department since they didn't call 911. They called the sheriff's department and then they're dispatched through there.
You're right. Well, that's kind of was that he said that was because that they would have had to transfer him anyway? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think he was saying that they would have had to transfer him, which they do, but they'd have had to transfer him quite a ways if he was calling from 3 hours away.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, a lot of people will take what I said early and say thing, I'm if you want me to just say I'm not just talking about Dolly, I'm not talking about just JLR. There were people from TikTok out there. There was a few people from TikTok, people I've never even heard of, and not that I'm the end all be all on TikTok. I have no idea who most people are. I'm just talking about the social media in general, which I'm a part of, obviously, but I to me, I'm just wanting to. I just respect the wishes of the parents, or the people that are at least searching. That's it. And if people can't be respectful, if they have problems in the chat, then they don't have to be here. I don't want people to feel that way, and I don't want people to feel like this is a combative chat, because it's certainly not, and it's really not. It's not really appropriate. So,
no, someone's just really not a fan of yours truly.
Who, me?
No, me. I don't know, somebody.
Oh,
somebody doesn't like that you have me up.
Doesn't like me. It's okay though. All right. So what you listened to the Nancy Grace interview with with Chris and Katie. What'd you think of that?
It was interesting. I feel like we had some the story morphed some more. It grew. We got some more details in a story that I thought we'd already heard.
There seemed to be some pretty big discrepancies, though. I mean, that's just what I thought. I like the CPS thing was like that whole situation is confusing, because I thought, and this is just me thinking out loud, but I thought that the CPS case, the first one that never went anywhere, was because of the belt incident. Is that correct?
That's what we had heard the night that they were interviewed by Smiley, and you went up on for a minute and actually had asked Chris a question.
Yeah. I caught some heat for that. I did. Yeah. Maybe I went up there a little too hot. I don't know. Rachel Wolf says, hello, happy early Easter Sunday. Bless you and your fam. Happy Easter. Cynthia Hutchinson Clark, every name God gave her right there, became a YouTube member. I appreciate that very much, Cynthia. Sorry, not Cynthia. I'm an idiot. Cat H became a YouTube member. I thought Cat H was already a member. And 99 Pink Balloons, picture of Leticia Hernandez, unsolved case, 1989 Oceanside. Hopefully that case at some point gets solved. So let me see here. Yeah, I've noticed, because everybody. So here's what I've always thought was interesting, and Smiley did that. It was like a 3-hour interview thing. Interviewing people is tough. It's just a tough thing to do, and we all kind of get some criticism for the way that we interview. But I did feel, and I still do feel this way, but I'm not trying to make it a big deal. But I just didn't feel like the conversation that I had with him was as just cut and dry as he made it seem. And while he was technically right about talking about open cases, you know, I like I said, I get it. I got it, but you know, semantics. Now the thud, that's a great point. When I heard about the thud and the whole situation, because I thought that she had just told him to go to bed and that there was no answer back. Is that how you felt about that too?
Yeah, initially we were told that she heard a noise and said something, and that was it.
Yeah. So she says that around 10 o'clock, she heard a bang or a thud or whatever it was. And then she asked him if he was okay. He said yes. And then she said, knock it off, go to bed. I believe the very first interview that she stated was that all she did was say, knock it off, that she didn't hear anything back. That's how I remember it. But I don't know. What is that, how you remember it or no?
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Yeah. So there seems like there was a lot more to that conversation. Like, okay, so hey, I hear a noise, knock it off, go to bed. You hear nothing. You hear a noise. Are you okay? Yes, mom. All right, knock that off and go to bed. That's a lot more interaction to me than what she let on the first time, because once again, I truly feel this way. I'm not saying that, I'm not accusing her of lying. I'm not accusing her of being misleading. All I'm saying is when you answer a question and it doesn't go over so well, what ends up happening is what? You adapt next time you're asked that question. If she would have answered the question the first time the way that she did on Nancy Grace's show, that wouldn't have been a big deal. I mean, I don't think, but the fact that it was made to seem like, and hopefully this isn't the case, but it was made to seem as though she just told him to knock off whatever he was doing and go to bed, that she didn't check on him, that she didn't hear anything back from him. That's a problem. You know, to me, that's a problem. And it didn't come off very well, and people got attacked for it. You know, I don't know, man. That's just how I feel about it. I thought that was a big discrepancy, but I'm sure there are people out there that would say, well, this is not a big deal. Let's see. Britt T says, actually, first she said she heard something and she didn't want to walk in on a 15-year-old boy. Okay, I got you. Really? Where was that first said? Oh, I mean, I get it, whatever, but you still check on your kids. You still check on them. And I mean, look, I've had 15-year-old kids, but Josh, was it asked if he could go out bedroom windows? It was asked, and I do not believe. I believe the answer was no. Proven Spooky says, I don't care what Sebastian did. You don't beat a child with a belt, especially an autistic kid. I don't think you hit any children with a belt. I think those days are over. I think those days are in the past, and they should be. I really think that. I don't know exactly what lesson that you're going to be able to teach a kid by whipping him with a belt other than to fear pain. And if I mess up, somebody's going to physically hurt me, because we teach people in society not to hit other people, right? I mean, it's against the law. So I think that those days are kind of over with. Hopefully. I don't know. I don't know. The screens were intact. There was I think it's not an issue, but I think that the whole thing is that people, there's no sign of forced entry. There's no sign of him leaving. What was the biggest discrepancy that you saw, Trevor, on that interview? If you did see a discrepancy,
I feel like I heard a couple. The two you've talked about, definitely, where you have the CPS. He definitely watered it down, in my opinion, made it seem like it had really not been a big deal. It wasn't because the belt, was a big bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
But when he talked about it on Smiley, he was open about how Sebastian was caught lying, I guess, and he pulled up the belt and hit his words. He said, "Whack," and he got him, and that's what led to CPS. And then when he was talking about if he came home in the last month or whatever,
yep,
it just seemed like very odd responses. It was like,
I didn't understand him either. I didn't understand him either. Could you not make sense of him either?
No, but I think that was the idea. It was so convoluted. It was this way, but that way. It was like yes, but no, but yes, but no. And then apparently can't share the dates. And I get that, like, recent dates, maybe you can't share, like, those, like, the day leading up. But if you can't share the dates prior to early February, then that's, like, basically telling me you can't talk about where you were in January. And I don't buy that. Why would law enforcement be worried about where you were in January if Sebastian went missing on 2/26? And we know he did because he was seen prior to that. It's not like there's a chance he went missing in January. I don't know what the thing is.
Yeah, it did come off. Beth Hammer says it felt like it came off a little bit deceptive, elusive. That's kind of how I felt with the way that he answered the question that I asked him, although I went straight to calling him a liar, which is never good. So I'll take the L on that one. But you're the one that laughed when we were watching the search videos. So
okay. Yeah, you were telling me to stop, and I did.
I told you several times. I said, people are not going to like you laughing.
Nope.
Sure enough. For some reason, they thought it was me.
Yeah. I guess my camera off. They just got a little tricked.
I'm a ventriloquist.
By nature.
The search for missing Sumner County teenager Sebastian Rogers continues with...
Is this the one you're on?
Yeah, that's one from today.
Unreal. Did you post this on your page?
Yeah.
I should have checked. I didn't check.
Volunteers teaming up with the United Cajun Navy.
News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry spoke with Sebastian's biological father.
I feel like I'm carrying the world, and all of a sudden I got somebody standing behind me, helping me hold that up.
Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological dad, tells me he has been searching for his son since the first day Sebastian was reported missing from his home in the beach area. And he says now there are more resources looking for Sebastian with the United Cajun Navy here following the conclusion of the Riley Strain search.
Normally we would deploy twice in the same area, but the outpouring was just so strong for us to stay and look for Sebastian. We said, you know what, since we're here, let's do it.
The UCN is working independently from law enforcement and joined search efforts on Saturday. Today was the first day volunteers were encouraged to help in the ongoing search.
There's really a lack of answers, and the truth is nobody knows where he is. And I see his family hurting, and I see a community trying to...
Where are you at?
Rally together to run this boy.
But the turnout...
That's a young John Wayne. I don't see Trevor Lee.
Volunteers say was not enough. With criticism online, Seth says the drama on the internet has deterred some people from helping, and he says it needs to stop.
People need to stop their ego.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Just because you pick up a phone and start recording, you can either help with that or you can hinder. I am asking the world to help me find my son. I need my son back.
The handful of volunteers that did show spent the morning searching their assigned grid plan. Officials with the United Cajun Navy tell me due to a shortage of volunteers, they ended the searches around 3. But the search will continue tomorrow at 90 Volunteer Drive, and the only thing they need is people. As the search continues, for now, Seth is just clinging on to the memories and conversations he shared with Sebastian.
He's a teenager. He's 15. I understand. Oh, Dad, no, you're old. Okay, I'm old. I'm still your dad. You still have to deal with it. You may not want me.
How old is he? Do you know, Trevor?
How old Seth is?
Yeah.
No.
Probably younger than me.
Here now, but you're going to need me later, and I'm going to be there for him.
Like you are right now.
Right now, I'm there for him.
In Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
The search for missing son.
Trevor is the type of guy I hope my daughter brings home. Jeez. How thoughtful. That's
What a
very
guy
nice.
to say.
Very nice.
Yeah. But pay attention to what Seth said, guys. I mean, they asked and I was happy to go on there, but listen to Seth. I mean, he's
First, we're going to hear your part again.
Search efforts on Saturday.
John.
Today was the first day volunteers were encouraged to help in the ongoing search.
There's really a lack of answers, and the truth is nobody knows where he is. And I see his family hurting, and I see a community trying to rally together around this boy.
But the turnout.
Well, I thought you were maybe. Well, that's true.
Volunteers say was not
Hey, do you think Seth's here?
enough. With criticism online, Seth says the drama on the internet has deterred some people from helping, and he says it needs to stop.
People need to stop their ego. Just because you pick up a phone and start recording, you can either help with that or you can hinder. I am asking the world to help me find my son. I need my son back.
The handful of volunteers that did show spent the morning searching their assigned grid plan. Officials with the United Cajun Navy tell me due to a shortage of volunteers, they ended the searches around 3. But
And that seems to be directly because people didn't want to volunteer for whatever reason today. But the days prior, there were a lot of volunteers, correct?
Yeah. It's gone down.
Tomorrow at 90 Volunteer Drive, and the only thing they need is people. As the search continues, for now, Seth is just clinging on to the memories and conversations he shared with Sebastian.
He's a teenager. He's 15. I understand. Oh, Dad, no, you're old. Okay, I'm old.
How old are you, though, Seth? That's the question.
Still your dad. You still have to deal with it. You may not want me here now, but you're going to need me later.
You know, my oldest son always says to me, he's like, dude, you're like 50. I'm like, I'm not even close to 50. Like, I'm like, what, 12 years away? That's not almost 50, right?
Yeah, you got some time to get to 50.
I would think, 12 years is a pretty long time.
That is a long time.
Well, it'll be here, before you know it. But dude, you're like 50. And I'm like, well, then, because he's 20. I'm like, well, then you're like 30.
And I'm going to be there for him.
I'm over 40, but under 50. Nothing's wrong with 50. I'm just not 50.
Like you are right now.
Seth says that he's over 40, but under 50.
Right now.
So he's either 41. He's 41 through 49.
I'm there for him.
There you go.
In Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Yeah, man, that's just terrible, to be honest. I hope all that gets straightened out, and I hope everybody kind of, everything mellows out where a search can happen. And Trev, how'd you end up on the news, dude? They just were like, hey, who's this guy?
Basically.
6:38.
And you were like,
well, some people really didn't want to be on camera, and they wanted to get a couple interviews. So they asked me if it was going to be part of a, made the clip 5 seconds longer that they talked about Sebastian. It was worth it to me.
yeah, no, that's cool. So they were trying to interview others too.
Yeah, they talked to Seth, and then they wanted to get perspective of people who had come to sign up to volunteer, and I had showed up, so they asked.
Dude, you got like a haircut and everything. Look at
I
this.
did get a haircut, yes.
Stud. Top shelf. That's awesome though that you stood up and spoke and were there for Seth, because it's I'm glad that you were there. I really am. And proud that you're there being helpful, and yeah, that's really cool. Let me see. That's why they don't want live streamers. People don't want their face in cyberverse, especially on clickbait social media channels. I mean, I could look at, yeah, that people do have problem. There are a lot of people that don't have mental illness like me that don't want their face on, out there. I get it, so I can understand that. That's fair enough. I've seen people just walk up to people and stick a camera in their face or something, and on the street, and they're like, oh, cool. Do you want me to just send it to you?
Yeah. Whoa. I was trying to pull up chat on my phone, and instead it played an ad.
I'm sending it to you right now. All right.
Got it.
And oh yeah, because I am curious how old you are. That's just a question. Let's see here. What did I do? This guy's on the news. It's a star. Oh, there he is. Let me take John Wayne off of the.
John Wayne.
What's up, man? Another day. Tired, wore out.
I think I am.
Yeah. So
I'd like to answer the question that was asked. I'd like to start it off with that to begin with. My son never told me that stuff. My son never told me what was going on in that house. If he had told me what was going on in that house, he never would have left mine, period.
Who asked the question?
Miss Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, people are just.
If I had known that my son was being abused mentally, physically, socially, no. He would have been in my house last year. And I just enrolled him in a different program.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, yeah. I don't think there's always somebody that's going to say something, but I don't think that people, I know that it never once crossed my mind to think like, why is he letting him in this situation? And, cause he didn't, I mean, I never thought that one time. So I'm sorry that somebody asked that. That was not cool to, no.
Is that don't take offense to it. It just makes me hurt a little bit more because my son didn't tell me.
Sure. So, I mean, so this is probably just a lot for you. This is a lot for you to digest. And I know that you found out some things probably in the last 48 hours that haven't been easy to digest, I'm sure. But the focus remains the same, right?
Find my son.
Find your son. Yeah. Yeah. And are there going to be some volunteers coming out tomorrow?
Hope so.
Yeah. Where are you guys? I mean, like, where do you get your? I'm just wondering, where do you get your tips and stuff from, or is it just places that maybe? How do you kind of come up with the locations?
I've got people on the internet. People send a lot of things to my sister, to my mom, to other people that are helping me on some of these Facebook pages, and they come into me. I go through them all, and it's before when it was just me. It was like, well, I know what I'm doing today. I'm going to check out this place, then I'm going to check out this place.
Yeah, because I think that, I mean, besides the actual searching itself, kind of just coming up with a place to search has to be difficult in and of itself. I mean, you want to search wherever you can search, but without any concrete leads, it is kind of difficult.
Because I don't get the leads from that TBI and them get.
Right.
I tell people, if you have leads, tell TBI. They can go search them. My sister, she gets leads from people. She sends them to me. I send them to TBI.
Right.
Same point in time, I turn around and tell TBI, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here.
It sounds like that you're very I have a sister that I'm very close with as well. It seems like that your sister's really, really, really there for you.
She's a bully.
Is she your only sister?
Yeah, she is.
Do you have brothers?
Nope.
So it's just you two.
Yes.
And is she older than you?
Yes.
It's just like me and my sister, dude. Just like that.
She's somewhere between 40 and 52, but older than me.
My sister's somewhere between 40 and 50 as well, but older than me for sure. That's funny. Yeah, my sister's a bully too, but she still thinks she can tell me what to do. And she still does, and I still listen to it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's like Chris calling up or Chris telling me that I need to curb my sister or he's going to step on her toes. It was like, good luck.
When did he say that?
When he found out she started the GoFundMe.
What business is that of his?
Oh, it isn't. And he's right. We had an agreement that I wouldn't start a GoFundMe and him and Katie wouldn't start a GoFundMe.
Why was it? Can you tell me why you guys had that agreement?
Something about not making money off of Sebastian's disappearance.
Wow.
Didn't want people to think that, him disappearing was people trying to make money. And my sister asked me about the GoFundMe. I was like, I don't care. Just don't include my son in on it. Because I'm not trying to get anything from my son missing. But I am trying to find my son. And she was like, okay. I don't have social media, so I didn't even know how a GoFundMe works.
And so he called you and said,
No, I was in the house.
oh, he said that to you face to face.
Yeah. I mean, it was his prerogative.
Well, I mean, I disagree, but if that's how you feel, good for you. I mean, I don't know.
People do stuff that you want them to do. We have free will.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's like I told Jonathan, I don't care who comes and helps me search for my son, as long as you're helping me search for my son.
Sure.
I know that Jonathan has a past. I'm in law enforcement. You know, I'm around murderers, rapists every day, and I hope that they change. They may not get a chance to go back out into society because their sentence is long, but I'm not there to punish them. I'm there to make sure they're abiding by policy. I'm there to make sure that they stay safe too. Jail's not a safe place. I don't
Right.
judge them for what they've done. They've
Well,
already been judged. That's why they're there.
well, there is no doubt that like, these shows, these podcasts can garner a lot of attention for the right reasons, the wrong reasons, but and can get people, you know, your son's face out all over the world. There's no question about that. And that people with platforms, you know, I mean, we all have a responsibility. There's no doubt about it. I think that people do genuinely want to help, and sometimes people butt heads. You know, I mean, this is a high stress situation, no question about it. Especially for you, your family, the searchers. I mean, it's a very, very high stress situation, and so you know, I'm not here to bag on anybody, but yeah, I think people just want to help. You know, I think for the most part, people are pretty genuine. You know, when they want to help, and I mean, anybody that shows up seems that way. You know, I don't know. I can't tell people's intentions. I've always had a problem with that. You know, it's trying to, so I don't even really bother with that other than just letting
No one to life. I'm not throwing his past in his face. All right. I told him to himself that his past doesn't matter to me.
sure, right.
You know, I would never throw somebody's past in their face unless you like stab me. Then I might throw that in your face. Like
Sure.
stab.
Understandable.
I'd be upset about that too.
Yeah, that might hurt.
Yeah,
You know,
sure. I understand.
and I wasn't there when he was booted off the property. I wasn't there when Dolly was there. I knew Dolly was coming down. I wanted to actually meet him. But I wasn't even informed of that stuff had happened until afterwards.
Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You got enough to worry about. You know, you got enough to worry about. You need to focus on the searches and the finding your son. You know, I mean, that's not really for you to. I don't think that's really for you to square away. I mean, unless that's something you wanted to do, but you don't need that extra stress.
You know, my only thing about some of this stuff is that if you're gonna help search, it's like it's really hard to cook an omelet with a phone in your hand.
Sure.
You know, I know how hard it is right now with my shoulder fucked up. I'm sorry. Can I even cuss on here?
You can.
Cool. My shoulder's fucked up, and it's hard enough for me to drive, do half the things that I was doing. So yeah, you know, kind of fucking sucks. You know.
Have you? So you've had a shoulder injury before?
No, this is kind of new.
And is that from search? That's from being out there and searching.
Got a knot about yay big in the back underneath my shoulder blade, and it's just I need to increase the amount of water I'm drinking and
Yeah.
not drink so much coffee, which is blasphemy. But
Do you
I
drink
drink
what kind of coffee? You drink black coffee?
yeah,
You ever drink it iced?
no.
As soon as that came halfway out of my mouth, I was like, this guy's gonna call me a fruit here in a second. I like iced coffee. I can't help it. I'm not.
Round.
I know. That was a dumb question.
Towards like the coffee is cold in my coffee cup.
Do you like iced coffee? No. Don't ever say anything like that to me again.
I don't even drink ice in my sweet tea. It dilutes.
What if it's not cold?
Then it's warm tea, and I should be drinking coffee.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Party back in 1776 for that shit.
Yeah, well, it wasn't sweet tea then, but it was on its way at least. So so these things, obviously the last couple days have been tough. Going forward, is there searches planned? You have searches planned what, like Thursday and Friday?
There's supposed to be searches planned every day.
Every day. Okay.
Every day until we find my son.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's and meeting at this basically the same place every day.
Yes, sir.
And then you guys just kind of go from there, but you're not advertising where you're searching because you want a kind of a contained search. Is that the reason for the organization?
They're not telling me where they're searching because now that they have come in, from my understanding, they really didn't want me out there to begin with, which is policy. I mean, it's policy for me not to be out there. I'm emotionally attached to the case. They're worried. Law enforcement is worried that I'll fuck up a scene. That I find my son, and but I know what my job duties are. I know what they are, but at the same point in time, my son's out there. He's probably cold, probably hungry, lost, doesn't know where the hell he's at. I need to fucking find him. I'm not torn between my profession and the fact that I'm a dad. I know what policy is. I know the correct procedures and stuff like that. But what do you think my son's going to do if he sees me after 30 days of not seeing me, being out there on the streets, not knowing where he's at? He's going to run to me. And it would break my fucking heart to tell him not to touch me.
Yeah, look, man, I completely understand. That makes sense why they wouldn't want parents of missing children on the scene just in case something like that happens. I remember in the JonBenet Ramsey case, I'm not getting into who did what but
Remember that case? I guess that really makes me fucking old.
It makes me old too, but
but I'm older than you.
A little bit, not a lot.
Hey, earlier you're like, oh yeah, I'm way younger than him.
No, I said you're younger than me.
Oh, but I'm not. I'm older than you.
I just thought you were younger than me because I was like, it seems that I'm getting to the point where like everybody that I meet now, I'm older than.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it does get that way. Like, Trevor, what are you, 22, Trevor?
Yeah.
Like, people be like, oh yeah, that's a kid. It's like, it's not really a kid though. Like 22 is not a kid, but to me, I mean,
when I'm his age, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking and I'm like, how old are you? And you hear the two come out of his mouth and you're like, man, you're still wet behind the ears.
Well, that may be true. There's no question about that. But everybody, you get tired of hearing that though, right, Trevor? Be honest.
Yeah. I'd like to interrupt for a moment.
Please do.
Nicole B, there actually is there is a reward fund set up, and I can get it for you. I've got it somewhere in my text messages, and I will share it to Trevor.
I think I've got it somewhere.
Do you?
I believe so. Let me dig for it real quick.
Because it is an attorney actually in Nashville, and if you donate to it, it's not really, well, you donate to it. He prefers checks. You go in, you give him a receipt. You go in, you give him the money, he gives you a receipt, and then he puts it into an escrow account. Right now it's at $3,500. But unfortunately, particular family decided to tell people not to donate, because we had people that wanted to donate, $1,000, $2,000 to the reward, and they told them not to donate. I've already called. I spoke to the attorney. He told me the process, and so there is an actual fund already set up.
Okay.
Josh, do you mind if I share my screen for a second? I've got it all pulled up.
No, go ahead.
As long as we don't have to see the John Wayne, we're good.
For the record, I didn't pull that up.
The John Wayne. So this is the reward fund. To add to the reward fund, Sebastian Rogers checks must be mailed or dropped off to reward fund for Sebastian Rogers, James Bryan Lewis, 1300 Division Street, Suite 307, Nashville, Tennessee, 37203. All donations will be held in an escrow account. So there's the answer to that. Very cool. I am surprised that it hasn't been promoted a little bit more, but there's a lot of there's just a lot going on. Seth,
Can we hyperlink to it?
What's that?
So I said, is there a way to make a hyperlink to it? I got to figure this stuff out.
Probably.
Just left me back in the VCR age.
Oh, okay. Let me see if we can.
In chat know what a VCR is.
Yeah, it's a video cassette recorder. And
wow.
I have
a
Rescuers Down Under on VHS. Good one. You remember that one?
I watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, okay?
That's a good one too. Broomsticks.
Actually, one of the last movies I watched with my son, and I thought he wasn't going to like it, but he actually sat there and watched the whole thing and enjoyed every moment of it.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I think my kids would probably hate it, but they have terrible taste. That's what I tell them.
They're your kids. Their tastes are partly yours.
Well, that's why they have terrible taste.
I have wonderful taste. Except for in females, because I don't know what happened.
I was going to tell you.
Side of me that normally people don't see, the delusional, exhausted, and don't really have much of a thought process tonight.
Well, you got to blow off some steam, right? I mean, what are you going to do? You got to blow some steam off. I get in those moods too, constantly. Trust me, the chat hates it. Like sometimes I'll be like, do a lab after dark, and I'm just like, why am I here right now? And then people are like, oh, Josh is in a bad mood. It's amazing that people can tell that you're bad mood. Somebody said we've seen it. Yeah, Josh, you seem off today. See, somebody just said in the chat, Josh, you seem off today. I'm not off. This is how I usually am. Off. Josh, you're off today. Great. Now I feel bad. Let me see here. No, it's not that I'm off. It's just that this situation it just is. It's perplexing and it's difficult to kind of navigate. I mean, with the emotions going on and people trying to help, people feeling kind of, pushed back on, and it's just I'm trying to toe the line here.
Am I remarried? Please. I learned the first time. Can't you tell?
Just let it out. Just let it out, man. Can't you tell? I can't. I'm getting hammered here. So let's see. Can you put that in the? Can you put that in the chat again, Linda, and I'll pin it for you. Yeah, it's just conversation with friends. So,
well, not crazy by crazy lady. I had an 8-track player in my first vehicle.
Yeah, so you're so you definitely are older than me. That's true. Because I never.
Okay.
I never had one of those.
Well, I feel sorry for you.
Well, you should. You should feel sorry.
I really feel sorry when I bought my truck and found out there wasn't a CD player in
it. What was it? Just like a USB plug-in?
It is. Yeah, it's got one of those. It won't even charge my phone though.
Well, then
it sucks because
I would take the whole car back.
Charge my phone.
I would take the whole thing back. It's all tainted.
It's already paid for, and there's no refund.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You got a paid for car. So I had a brief conversation with Chris the other day, asking him why he hasn't been in contact with you. His answer was that he hasn't heard from you, and that his phone, he knows that my phone is always on. And so take that for whatever it is. That was his response to my question. When I saw your News Nation piece come out, that's what
I'm pretty sure that probably upset him a little bit, but it's the truth. But my whole thing is that I'm out looking for my son. If you don't want to come help me, you don't want to come help me. I'm not going to ask.
Right. I hear you on that, man.
You don't hear me sitting here asking everybody for help. Why do I have to call you personally?
That's a good point. I thought that your interview with Brian Enton was very, like all your interviews, it was straight to the point. It was
too old, beat around the bush. That got me in trouble anyways. It did get me the best thing in the world though. Now I just got to find him.
Yeah, I think you are. I really do. I really do think that you're going to find him. And I said this when the first time that we talked. I believe that you'll be the reason that he's found, and because I don't know if Chris and Katie are looking for Sebastian. They say that they have, but it doesn't feel that way to me. And like I said, I don't want to rail against them because it's just not appropriate for me to do that. But
a lot of people think that they're guilty. I've seen some of the comments, but my profession says that you're innocent until proven guilty. And that even comes to when it comes to my son.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's not what you know or it's not how you feel. It's just what you can prove and where, the first step is finding Sebastian, and then hopefully everything gets squared away from there.
I've said that there's a missing piece to this puzzle, and I figured out what the missing piece is. It's what I'm looking for. Once I find Sebastian, we'll know everything. We'll know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
God willing, he's alive. and well, and he can verbally tell us.
Let me ask you about that really quick. His conversation, was he able to communicate just rather well? Like he could speak fine and all that kind of stuff, comprehend things.
Yes, there have been many times that I've got compliments from teachers about his vocabulary usage and his wide range of vocabulary to begin with.
Yeah.
I taught him how to read. I taught him how to write. I taught him. I was given a lot of shit because his first book that I ever bought for him was a dictionary. And I told him, if you read this from cover to back, you'll be smarter than half the people out here.
Right. Right.
And he didn't take me up on it. So
I know. I mean, I don't blame him one bit. Comic books are way better. That is a straight up dad move. So I mean, you are a certified old father like me. That's what, like I told you, my kids tell me all the time. They're like, "You're like 50, dude. You're like 50."
somewhere between 40 and 50. Leave me alone.
Well, no, that's what they would say to me. But yeah, just knowing, you're just, we're about the same age. Trevor's the young one here. He's the problem.
That's
showing up with his youth and good looks and stamina.
Wow.
Good blood pressure.
What's that like?
Yeah, whatever, dude. Oh, I'm Trevor. I have good blood pressure.
All right. All right.
What's that like?
Guys, my friend Josh complimented today. Oh, what'd he say? That I have good blood pressure?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
Someone's got to clip that, please.
I'm sure it'll get clipped. Seth, did Sebastian like any sports?
At one point in time, he did.
Baseball, right?
Actually, no.
Have a gun.
We were in California for 9 years, and I was teaching him how to play soccer.
Oh, okay. Soccer.
Yeah. Well, I tried to stay away from anything that might actually get him hit in the head by any hard or fast objects, because he has a pocket of fluid on the right bilateral part of his brain. And the last thing I wanted is him to get a head injury from a fastball, a baseball bat. Football was definitely out of the question. He's too scrawny for that, anyways.
Right. What was he born with that?
Yes, he was.
And what is that attributed to? Is it just genetics or what?
It's 6q27 chromosomal deletion syndrome,
Okay.
which leads to a lot of birth defects.
Okay.
Like when he was born in 2008, there was 8 recorded cases of this.
Interesting. Okay.
There wasn't a lot of research on it because there wasn't no money in the research. So
did he have epilepsy?
no, thank God.
He never had seizures or anything growing up.
Have seizures. I potty trained him 6 times. It was just like he would go to bed, and the doctor stated that he thought that maybe he was having the seizures in his sleep.
Yeah.
But he grew out of it. I mean, the doctor was like, they don't do anything. It's just like a little reset. Oh, I saw it many a times.
And he would have the tonic-clonic seizures, the shaking and stiffness.
Well, no, I saw the after effects because I think a couple times we thought that maybe he was having a seizure,
Yeah.
because but it was kind of like an absent-mindedness.
Uh-huh.
Then he was sitting there, he would be watching TV or doing something, and then he would just stop and stare off into space.
Yeah, they're called absent seizures. Yeah.
But then you could, hey, snap your fingers, get his attention, and he'd come back to you. But there was times that he would go to bed, and when he woke up the next morning, you could just tell that he had no clue what happened for the last couple months.
Really? Yeah. They call that what is that? It's like after you have a seizure. I can't remember the name, but it's a state that you go into, and it takes a while. You don't know. My oldest son has seizures, and so he that would happen to him, but he was very it took him a while to just get his wits about him. You know what I mean? Like a good half hour to hour. Postictal, that's what it's called, a postictal state. Correct. Thank you, Cat H. So it's a fog, kind of what you're describing there. So, but kids grow out of seizure activity a lot. Like it's like 70-80%. Like kids, when they get older, they tend to grow out of it. So that's very tough to deal with. So he and you said, and when was he diagnosed with autism?
Late last year.
And before that, what was he treated for? Like, what was his diagnosis before that?
Besides the chromosomal deletion, which was done at like 6 months old, they just went and diagnosed him as having ADHD.
It seems like a fairly simple diagnosis, especially for the. But I mean, I'm sure that did he have that as well? I mean, was that something that he does have? Is it something that's still active with him?
What, the ADHD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that make him act? Like if that's acting up, is it just as described? You just
Me,
hyper and can't pay attention?
boy.
Yeah. Just hyper,
For
right?
ADHD,
Yeah. Did he shake his leg? Was he anxious? Did he ever get anxious? Anything
Yeah.
like, did he ever express to you that he was anxious?
You could just tell with his behavior.
Yeah. 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 And how would you so okay, like, so this is just a hypothetical. So say somebody comes across Sebastian, and he's scared or disoriented or whatever it is. What would be the best way to help him to calm down until help gets there? I mean, you know him better than anybody.
A calm, soothing voice.
And he will respond to his name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't stupid by any means.
No, I wouldn't imagine so, especially somebody that gets that many kills on Call of Duty.
He still hasn't matched mine.
Oh, he will. He will. He's got plenty of time.
I mean, he's definitely got an advantage while my arm is hurting. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody had a question here. Eric says, does Seth have any thoughts on Chris saying Ellie told me not to talk about it on certain questions? Any thoughts on that at all?
I have another phone right here next to me. It doesn't have service, but I love using my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
You said Eric. Seth. I talk to law enforcement. I know what I can and cannot discuss.
Hmm.
And so far, you guys really haven't asked me very many questions that I can't discuss.
Sure, I understand that. Makes sense. So you just maybe that's more at his discretion than anything else.
Well, I don't know what they tell him. I know what they tell me.
And that's not something that you're able to tell us, correct?
Nope.
Got it. Let me see. Seth, I hope you feel the love the world feels for Sebastian and you. Your heart is shining through. That's true. I agree. I did find it a little odd that Chris did mention that he didn't take a polygraph, and I think that's odd. Although polygraphs, I know that polygraphs they're not typically admissible in court, but that they are used as a tool.
Well, in court.
Yeah, and nobody ever asked you to take one, correct? I mean, that's because obviously you were of your proximity and where you were at the time.
I mean, I volunteered. I was like, okay, so you gave her one. When do I go take mine?
Mm.
And they never even responded to me. Like, you know how that annoying child gets ignored at the Christmas party? That's how I kind of felt.
Yeah. No, that's it. So what'd you think of old Trev when you met him the first time?
I was wondering why the wind blew the trash into the park. Hi, partner.
Now that's funny.
I only talked to him for like 5 hours today.
I was gonna say we only spoke for the whole day.
5 hours? Jeez.
Yeah, I made sure he left his phone over there by his car.
Yeah, no streaming for him. Yeah, that's definitely not Trevor's MO. He's a very him and I met through another case out of Tennessee. And
I don't know. I mean,
what's that?
Britt asked a question. Does mom usually take Sebastian out to do so many things like the day prior? I don't know. I really don't ask about their days because I don't really get an answer anyways. And then Sebastian doesn't really like to talk about what he does at his mom and stepfather's, and I kind of figure out why now. Mohawk Mom, does Sebastian also have a nickname? First of all, I named him. All 4 names, I named him.
I'm having trouble here. All right, much better. Sorry. All four of them.
All 4 of them. Wayne, Drake, Rogers.
Where'd the Dwayne Drake come from?
The Wayne?
Or the Drake?
The Wayne is my dad's name.
Okay.
And Drake is because he's always been my little dragon.
Interesting. That's cute.
That's awesome.
Definitely way before some music person thought they could call themselves Drake. Okay.
That makes sense.
Star T, the reason he seems like a normal boy is I didn't raise him like he had a defect.
Yeah.
He didn't have a defect. People see it. Some people see it as a defect. Me, he's special.
It's just who he is. He's yeah.
I raised him like I would raise my next child. No, that's not an offer.
Mm. Thank God.
As for a nickname, it just depends on what he's done today to get himself one of the many nicknames that I have for him.
So
I like to call him Shark Bait, and he don't like that.
Shark bait.
Why shark bait?
Exactly.
Shark bait. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Nemo?
Finding Nemo.
You never watched Nemo?
And he had a VR. Shit.
probably 18 years ago was the last time I saw Finding Nemo.
What's a classic part though?
I don't remember.
They were in the aquarium. They were having the ritual.
Yeah, they were having the ritual with all of them inside the aquarium, and then shark bait, ooh ha ha, shark bait, ooh ha ha. You see, I remember.
JC wants to know. Let me ask you this question. Hi, Josh and Seth. I have a question. Was Sebastian a child who enjoyed going a lot of places? One day, referring to Sunday, and prayers for you. You're a wonderful man.
I think she's hitting on me. I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell through text. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, it's hard to tell when they're right in front of you too.
That's true too. I assume everybody's disgusted by me.
Pretty much. That's how I feel.
That's just the basis I go off of.
Boat with no oars. Okay, Josh?
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't really pay attention to what they're doing because Sebastian doesn't really tell me. Now, there's days that when he's with me, we might go to the store. We might go over to the game shop to play D&D, play Magic the Gathering, go fishing. I mean, there's a lot of things we might do throughout the weekend. But I like to do one or two things. Like if I got to go to the grocery store, then we're going to the grocery store. That's normal. After that, if he wants to go out to eat, I'll take him out to eat. If he wants to go play at the playground and it's not cold outside, then I'll take him to the playground. I mean, a lot of when I have him on my weekends, we pretty much do whatever he wants to do.
And what is it that he typically wants to do? What, like a normal child wants to play video games? Yeah.
He wants to play on his Switch,
Yeah.
watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Naruto, whatever he have, or NCIS. He really likes NCIS.
He likes the show NCIS.
Yeah. He says I'm good.
I was gonna say he must be a Gibbs fan because I could see him liking Gibbs. Who doesn't like Gibbs though, right?
Right.
NCIS is a legit show. I've watched it with my grandma before, right after the Waltons. So I have to force myself to wake up to watch NCIS.
Right after the Waltons.
Yeah, dude, the Waltons are legit. Huh? I like that. I watch them sometimes. Let me see here. See if we can.
Was I that night? I was at work.
Who asked you? Yeah, that's. Did he like puzzles?
He worked on some puzzles. I mean, he liked Legos. So I would buy the single thing Legos like Batman and his spaceship or the Joker, and we would sit there and put those together.
Dude, hold on, let me get this really quick. How expensive are Legos now?
Expensive.
Dude, I remember my kids loved Legos. So we when Kmart was a thing, we would go there, and I'm surprised how expensive Legos actually were then, and I can't imagine how much they cost now. But they're supposed to last forever as long as you don't have a dog that chews on them. And I do have a dog.
Or a kid that leaves them out so you step on them.
Is there any there's nothing that hurts worse than stepping on Legos barefoot?
Yes.
I was kind of being facetious, but I get what you're saying. I'm sure there are other things.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it reminds me of on Home Alone when Marv comes through the window and there's like the ornaments and the Legos and the wheels and he steps on all of them. He stepped on every single one. I've always said that Kevin from Home Alone, that kid is sick. Like he's a sick person,
Well, you got to be a sick person to be trying to kill a kid anyways.
Yeah, but he was trying to kill two adults.
kill him. All fair and
All
loving.
he had to do was call the cops, man. That's it. He knew they were coming.
Yeah, but remember when they first showed up, they were dressed as cops, so now you can't trust it.
That's true too. So then he decides to try and kill him.
Don't tread on me. Don't come in my house.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But then the New York thing, he just took it too far there.
That you're from California, Josh.
What's that?
So we could so tell you're from California, Josh.
I'm a snowflake.
Really close to it.
No, I'm actually I'm from a part of California that's really not that way. I'm from a county called Humboldt County up in the northern part. And I mean, we're big country, but that doesn't change the fact that Kevin was a psycho, me being from California. Yeah, he's allowed to do that. You know what? I think maybe one time I've had somebody say something like that, like, oh yeah, we can tell you're from California, but yeah, maybe it does show. I don't know. Trevor's from California too, San Francisco specifically.
Yeah, absolutely not.
That's what you told me once. No, you
That
didn't.
is not what I told you.
He wanted a trolley ride.
Yeah. Can we go on a trolley ride? Trevor, get out of the road. Great question. Can Sebastian swim?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy's been swimming since he was a year old.
Okay.
It's the first thing we did.
Like a fish.
You betcha.
Interesting. Okay. And he was attracted to water.
Attracted to water?
Yeah, that's what I heard early on. I don't even know what that means. I like water too, so I don't know what that means.
They say that autistic children are attracted to water. My son, on the other hand, I don't think he was attracted to water. I think it was more like he liked to swim. We go fishing, and he didn't want to touch the water because it looked nasty and dirty.
Right.
Because he doesn't like to get dirty.
And so they are operating under the not suspicion, but assumption that he didn't have any shoes. I mean, is that something that is confirmed?
Yeah, he has no shoes. The pair of boots that I just bought him because he outgrew the last ones, and the pair of shoes that his mom just bought him because he outgrew the other ones, and his old tennis shoes were still at the front door.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So say there was some sort of, disagreement or argument at the house and he got upset and say he said, I want to leave, which this is hypothetical. You knowing him the way that he does, I mean, would he take the time to put his shoes on?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, is that a possibility that's what happened?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird question to ask you, but is that something that you put any merit into, or you don't feel that that's what happened?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
Yeah.
I wish I knew.
Yeah. Hold on. And we're going to pin this at the top of the chat. Golly, hold on.
Yeah, I think Josh said on the red ants.
I did. I did sit on red ants. Yeah. It was horrible, dude. Like, honestly, and I wasn't very old, but they got my Apple bag and everything. Thighs, legs. It was one of the worst feelings. It was like getting electrocuted, like a little mini jolt.
He's got a pair of they're like Nike slip-on like shower shoes at my house. He wears those if he's going outside.
Mm. And do you know if he had any slippers at his mom's house?
That I don't know.
Yeah. And so if he were to just like take the trash out or something at your house, he would just put on his slippers?
Depending on where I put the trash can. If it's in the grass, he puts on his slippers.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He wasn't a kid that walked around the house with no shoes on, or he did?
Oh, around the house, he didn't have shoes on, but at my house, all shoes come off at the front door. Don't be tracking anything through my house. That's nasty.
Yeah. Trevor steps in dog crap a lot, so that's a good rule. Right, Trevor?
Well, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
we'll go with that.
What?
Trevor steps in dog crap on purpose.
Okay.
Anyway.
Alrighty.
I'm just kidding. But so the no shoes thing. I just keep going back to that because I keep thinking that maybe there was like an argument or something like that. And I hate to even speculate, but the no shoes thing is just really
good speculation. But
What's
I
that?
figured speculation station.
Does Sebastian sleepwalk was a question.
I've never seen him sleep.
Not that you know of, yeah. And
sleeping.
A little bit. Thank you for gifting a lab membership. It's very kind of you. Did Sebastian carry a flashlight everywhere? And what's it look like? Praying for you both from Texas. And honestly, you guys don't have to super chat to ask questions. I'll try and get to as many as I can, but don't feel obligated to do that, please. Go ahead.
Where are we at?
Did Sebastian carry a flashlight everywhere? And what's it look like?
My house, he's got a flashlight in his room. So, there's that. Then there's a flashlight in the hallway, and there's a flashlight on my desk. And there's a lantern light by the kitchen table. And in my truck, I carry 2 pretty much mag flashlights. So he never had to carry a flashlight with him because there's always flashlights wherever he went in my house.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Sebastian liked the beach because he didn't like the sand. It felt weird.
Look, that's something I can get behind too. Has Ellie sat down and told you what is fact versus BS?
You see that?
There it is.
See the flashlight? It's where he left it. Flashlight, gun. Because that's where he likes to literally be under his bed with the flashlight playing a Switch or reading the book. My son was weird. I loved every part of it.
He was just Sebastian. He is Sebastian. When I talked to you last time, we had talked about the glasses, and I know that there were some conflicting reports about that, but so his glasses aren't at the is that his?
No.
That's yours.
But they glow in the dark.
What's that?
I said no, but they glow in the dark. I have 2 of them. I found 2 of them the other day when I was at the corner store.
You like ducks?
No.
Just they glow in the dark.
They're green and they glow in the dark.
Sebastian. Yeah.
So
that's it. That was his favorite color, right?
You betcha.
Yeah.
I still find myself like I was at O'Reilly's to get oil for my truck because I've been driving a lot of miles. And I was there, and the next thing I know, I was leaving with Hot Wheels for him. And it's just like, hope I find him.
I hope so too. We'll do a couple more questions and we'll get out of here. Let's see. And Kelly K, thank you for gifting the memberships. That's very kind of you. I have some. If he put on his glasses and got his flashlight, he put his shoes on, so it just doesn't make sense. I mean, that's a great point.
Well, Sebastian puts his glasses on whenever he gets up out of bed.
Yeah, right. I mean, that makes it. Are you the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
These aren't sunglasses; they're transition lens. But I put my glasses on every time I get up.
Let me see here. Speaking of flashlights, was it a Ring camera or neighbor who saw 2 flashlights in his backyard? What time was that? And I'm sure that you've seen the infamous lights. What has law enforcement told you about that?
That it's not flashlights.
Did they say what it was?
They said it was the trash truck. They said the one going that way was that picking up the trash, and the reason it was so fast coming back was because it was going.
And that was caught on a neighbor's camera?
That's what they said.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Debbie, what's the question, Debbie? Sorry, the chat's moving fast. It's hard to slow it down. Let me see. Okay. Seth, can a money order be sent instead of a regular check for the reward fund?
Think
Do
you
you know,
should.
Trevor?
The difference is with a money order, whoever gets the order can literally cash it. So if it doesn't make it there and somebody say steals it, which mail is not really very secure nowadays,
Yeah.
you're not guaranteed that it gets there.
Interesting. Rebecca wants to know, as far as you know, has Katie always been soft spoken?
I'm going to claim the fifth on that one.
All right. Moving on.
Josh, I am dropping the link for the lawyer that's over the reward fund, so anybody that can contact him about any further questions if they want.
You dropping it in the chat?
I'll drop it in the chat. Yeah.
Chat. That's different than the chat.
Whoa!
Chat's the chat. Private chat is the chat. Or no, wait, I'm confused. Please read my
link. I don't know why I did that.
What was it?
40 links.
Does he know if the doors in the house were locked after Katie woke? And also, did the dogs hit on his scent outside the house? Okay, so the question again, do you know if the doors in the house were locked after Katie woke up? Also, did the dogs hit on his scent outside? Now, I believe that they did hit on a scent from what Chris and Katie say. What about the do you know if the doors were locked? Like, because there was no sign of forced entry, right?
Correct. And the only thing I know about it is what Katie told law enforcement, because obviously I don't live there.
Right.
Yeah, the dispatch call did say that the doors were locked. So that's what was reported to them originally too.
What is it? Can't see.
But then EMA director said they had no scent trail when he spoke to Nick Barris the other day. So I don't know.
Don't even get me started on that guy.
Did Katie really pass the poll? I don't think Seth. I mean, I'm sure you don't know the answer to that, correct?
Hope she did.
You hope she did, but you don't have confirmation one way or the other.
No, I was told she did.
By
TBI.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then again, in my experience, from what I understood, They always tell everybody they pass.
Well, there you go. That's funny. That's interesting.
I'm sure it goes along with the investigation too. I mean, maybe it's, if whatever they're doing with their investigation, their answer will also kind of reflect. Because with polygraphs, it's not as much of like passing and failing. It's, if you show any sort of deception or inconsistencies, or if it's just seems good, like if you're following your baseline. So
yeah, you can pass a polygraph and for many different reasons. Seth, is it fact that Katie installs home security systems, or is that false?
Yeah, she does.
And yet they claim they don't have one inside their house. I found that a little odd, but that's just me.
I'm law enforcement, so I don't have any guns.
Yeah, I bet. That's what I'm saying. I was talking about this yesterday. I said it's like somebody working at the chocolate factory and never having any chocolate. It's just like it doesn't make sense to me. What's that?
Said that's different. I wasn't always in law enforcement,
but you always had chocolate.
But when I worked at Subway, I couldn't eat subs. When I was a manager at Pizza Hut, I couldn't eat the pizza.
Just because you didn't like it? I mean, you're talking to a Subway connoisseur here, and I've never worked at Subway, and I think the reason I haven't is because that my whole paycheck would go to eating subs.
Yeah, I don't eat Subway since they put that metal thing up so you can't see the meat.
It's like they're like blocking it out. You don't want to see what you're about to eat. That's funny.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I could tell you some stories about what I've seen people do at Subway.
Nah, I'm good.
Like, I had a buddy.
Here we go.
Hey, man, I know you're good, but you're going to get this one.
All right.
And it was his old boss from another job. And he wasn't paying attention when he asked for the meatball sub. And my buddy, his name was John Parada. And I'm a hairy guy, but he was Sasquatch. All right. And he turned around and ripped a whole handful of hair out from somewhere. And he shoved it into the sub. Turned around, wrapped it up. He had it all cut up, wrapped it up, turned around, told his boss, because I'm standing there playing arcades. And he turned around and he told his boss, you need to ring him up. He took his apron off, tossed his work shirt over there on the chair, put his regular shirt on, and he looked at me and he was like, I'll see you at Insomnia later. And I was like, okay. And he walked out the back door, told the guy I quit, and walked out. And I stuck around to watch the guy eat half the sub before he pulled the first hair out from between his teeth.
Oh, no.
You should never fuck with somebody who makes your food.
That's true. But there's also a rule that says don't make ass hair subs either.
It wasn't ass hair.
Never mind. Moving on. Oh, man.
It was hair from the sausage.
I was going to have Subway tomorrow, but I'm going to go forego that.
I just wanted to make sure you don't eat Subway for a while.
Well, I mean,
hey, it was fresh.
That's disgusting. Let me see. Any other? It was fresh. Can you ask if Katie was going to have to pay? I guess I can ask that. Can you ask if Katie was going to have to pay child support once Sebastian moved home with you? I think the answer to that would be typically yes. I mean,
except for I don't pay child support, so why would I ask her to?
Well, there you go. So the answer is no.
I don't pay child support now. We have a mutual agreement. If Sebastian needs something, he gets it.
Sure. Somebody said Jersey Mike's are way better. I've never had their subs either.
Exactly. Jersey Mike's. You can sit there and watch them as they grill the food so you know what's going on it. You know, there's nothing like a Philly cheesesteak with add bacon.
Jeanette said I ate Subway yesterday. Yeah, you know that's actually happened to me before. There was this we had this place called the China Buffet, and I just used to love that place until I ate there one night and everything was fine. It was no big deal. And then the next day I woke up to read in the paper like they got shut down for like tons of health violations, and I was like, I literally just ate there last night, and it was like it was traumatizing, to be honest with you. It was just
Hey, we want to look at Cat H.
okay. Cat H.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. I've met my match a couple of times, but like the ball hair on the subs is that's next level for sure.
Well, I can tell you one that I did.
Oh God, I don't think you want to put that out into the ether, dude.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, fine. Do whatever you want.
All right. I worked at a place that no longer exists, and I was a manager there.
Because what you did?
No. They just went out of business. But a lot of places went out of business during COVID and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But it was called Gumby's Pizza of Ohio.
It's an interesting name.
Huh?
That's an interesting name.
Well, it was Gumby's Pizza in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, that makes sense.
Normally had one around every major college campus. And I had an ex-roommate come in that had cost me my apartment. Because one day he decided that he was going to walk around outside in the middle of winter with a dungy hat on, which is the old Navy white hats, boxers, and a fucking cleaver. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't know what kind of drugs he was on, but it cost me my apartment.
He got evicted?
So I got evicted because the cops got called and the owner didn't appreciate it. So I got evicted. Okay. Found me another place to live. Like 8 months goes by and he comes into my store and he was like, "Hey, how's everything going?" I was like, "How are you doing?" He was like, "I'm back on my meds." And I'm like, "Oh, nice. Great. All right." And I'm like, "So what can I do for you?" And he's like, "I want a supreme pizza." And I was like, "Okay, what size?" And he was like, "Large." Okay. I walked back there. 3 other people that I had hired knew him as well. And they lived in that apartment building. And when we all got evicted, we all took it kind of personal.
I can imagine.
So I made his pizza for him. And it had floor spice, spit, it had hair in it.
Yeah.
And I cooked that, and he ate the whole thing in my lobby and turned around and told me it was the best pizza he ever had and ordered another one. Service with a smile, baby.
And he got you evicted. What do you want to do? I mean, what are you going to do, man? Maybe, yeah. He would still. He got you evicted. I'd have been pissed too. Floor spice. I've never heard that one before, but that's a perfect.
That's when you just drop it on the floor.
Well, I've eaten many things with floor spice on it because I've dropped them, and I don't care typically.
Yeah, not with wet dough. That shit sticks in there, and you got to imagine when you dropped it was right where you've been standing all day, and you've done walked out to the back of the building to throw trash away in the alley. All right. Yeah.
Not with wet dough.
He cooked that flour into the pizza.
Yep.
That's too funny.
It wasn't stuffed crust, but it was something like it.
Oh man, well,
All right.
that's funny. That is.
Hey, I've lived several decades, so I
You're
have
somewhere
done some
between 40 and 50.
Yeah. I stopped counting when I was 26.
See, Trevor, that's what you got to look forward to. Seth, we're gonna get out of here since you left us with that butte. Tomorrow, you guys are searching, and I think I have it pinned at the top. Let's see. Join the search for Sebastian tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. 90 Volunteer Drive, Hendersonville, Tennessee, and that's where you guys will be meeting every day. That you're having searches every day until you find Sebastian. Trevor, are you going to be out there?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
Trevor will be out there as well. No, there is something pinned, isn't there? I can see it says pinned by the lab. I did it. I know it. I did it.
I did it.
I did it. I promise.
He's proud of it, guys.
Yeah. Well, not really, but
Sorry, Michael Harrison.
what happened? What'd Michael say?
Please, no, Seth.
Oh, well, it's done and gone. I mean, the genie's out of the bottle. The Pandora doesn't go back in the box, so
Nope.
there it is. All right, guys. Well, Seth, thanks for coming up, man. And I hope that everything starts to go smooth. It was really nice talking to you. You seem like a great guy, a great sense of humor. And I know that I'm sure that shined through with Sebastian as well. You were probably always, you were like me with my kids. I like to give them a little love, I'd tease them a little here and there, but the teasing came back tenfold. So it always backfired on me.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And
I think that people can help me with.
Awesome. Trevor, thank you, man. And we'll talk tomorrow as well.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Seth. Bye, Trevor. All right. Well, there it was. That was a great conversation with Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers' father, who is and Shaza Banda 16. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And great live. God bless. Yes, it's good stuff. I'm glad that we went live tonight and everything went really well. So thank you guys. Yeah, it was nice to see him try to take his mind off of the craziness for just a little bit and have a conversation and get to talk more about Sebastian. Once again, tomorrow. Love Pink, thank you for being here. Yeah, they always do. They platoon me back. That's true. All right. Oh no says I'll be there tomorrow. That's great. That's awesome. Show up, show up and help them if you can, if you have the time and in the proximity, show up and help them. I know that things don't always go perfect and that there's a lot of misunderstandings and, frankly, there's just rude people in the world. It happens, but they'll be searching for a Sebastian. So hang in there. Hang in there. Curse with Curiosity was gifted a membership by Eric. Appreciate it, man. You guys have a good night. Thanks for being here.